guys? Nick Lessigore here, Exit 12 Homebrew in the house, in the brewery, on a casual Monday. As you can see, I'm dressed up. It is after work, and the reason why I'm recording this video, not because I'm drinking a beer. This is actually from Treehouse, but it's their non-alcoholic seltzer. The reason why I'm recording this video is because a few weeks ago, I asked an electrician neighbor of mine, who I'm good friends with, if he could come over and do some electric work for me. I still need a little bit of electric work done here in the brewery. I need some outlets put in, just basic ones to be able to move my kegerators. I'd like to put my TV up on the wall. I'd like to have a separate TV that has the tap list reflected. I have a record player I want to plug in, and eventually I want to get a beer fridge for my my cellar beers. So in doing that, I'm going to need more outlets, specifically on the other side of the brewery room. So I also think I want to have a plug-in in the corner or something for my eventual glycol that I want to buy. Not 100% sure. And in honesty, I don't have a full plan of where I want. I have an idea. I have a rough idea of where I want some of these outlets. And so I'm recording this video on a bit of an emergency, in that I want to kind of chronicle the process here. This, in theory, is going to be almost the final part of the build out of the brewery area. I want to put in some electrical outlets, and then the last thing I need to do is I need to frame up this place. So I need to get framing and trim board around this brewery, put on a couple of doors, and then outside of a couple of decorations, that's basically going to be the brewery built. So I am anxious. I just want this to go well, and I want to get done with this project, specifically before my buddies in August come to visit. So we'll see how it goes. Now, before my neighbor arrives, I figured I'd show just a couple of areas that I need some outlets. Any places with X's, you may have seen on a previous video, any places with X's that I've marked, I needed outlets. Now, if you see, I got a couple of X's there. I got one on this wall. I got two over there. And I had a couple over here before I moved them. These X's were placed before I had my split system put in. And that was because I thought there was going to be a family friend come over to put in the split system, and he was going to do the outlets for me too. As you can tell, I got a little outlet happy. So with that said, at the cost I'm being charged, which is a fair deal, I just can't afford to put in a ton of outlets. And honestly, it probably wouldn't look that great anyway. So I'm thinking for my cellar area, I'm going to have one outlet, because this is really all I'm going to need is one outlet for my cellar. I was thinking about maybe I'm getting two kegerators, or I'm getting one. I need one more to add on to the one I have here in the corner, or in the middle of the room, rather. I was thinking about taking the cellar with an eventual fridge and then putting my two kegerators here. Kind of defeats the purpose, because the idea of moving my kegerators from the brewing area, I actually want to put them on this long wall here. I want to take this TV, I want to put it up. I want to put two kegerators and a record player over here, with a TV up here that gives the tap list. And the idea being that you're pouring a beer and you're not missing anything on TV. You know, putting them over here kind of defeats the purpose, although I think it would look cool with the actual cellar. This is awful YouTubing. This is awful brew tubing, but I'm working through this idea. So I was going to put an outlet in the corner here, but I think there's going to be too much cutting that needs to be done. And in honesty, I don't really need one, because once I move this kegerator, my fermentation fridge is going to slide over. And once a fermentation fridge slides over, I won't really need. I may put one outlet there, though. That may be the move. See that X there? I may put an outlet there. I'm going to talk to my neighbor. I was going to have one up here for the TV, but with the tap list. But since I'm moving my kegerators, that's not going to be needed. In truth, I'm going to need this space for more either kegs, fermentation space, something. That's the other thing I didn't consider, is that I have my kegs over here, which does make sense. Having the kegs over here, even though I won't have the kegerator I need the kegs over here for easy access when I'm transferring beer, right? So that makes sense. But yeah, and then I think I'm going to be keeping my grain mill here. I think the grain mill seems to have found its own home over there. Either way, that's what I'm thinking for now. So that's where we're going to be. We'll see what I end up working out with my neighbor. But yeah, I'm thinking the 2 kegerators on this far wall, TV up here, TV up here. I need to put a door on that, my tankless hot water heater. I want to put a door there. I want to do something with this area here. And I'm brewing this weekend, so a lot of things to get done. I won't be getting any trim or anything done, but getting the electric in would be sweet. Okay, it's a few days later. My neighbor came back to do some of the work, and so that's the reason why I haven't given a follow-up, is basically because it's going to be a few-day process here. So, but this is some of the work that he's done to this point. Also, I didn't want to record over his shoulder, and he's currently working while I'm basically at work. So here it is. So we have on this far wall, I actually talked to him more, and the more we talked, the more we felt like I'm going to be installing some quad plugs and then some dual plugs. But the quad plugs can be good for multiple kegerators. So in an ideal world, what I'd like to do on this long wall is basically have 3 kegerators. Have my current 3-tap, which is right there. I'm purchasing another 3-tap. And then the last kegerator is going to be basically a housing for my beer engine, given to me by none other than Billy Gamdude Brewing. Video on that hopefully coming soon. And then, as I mentioned, I wanted a TV above the kegerators. So we got a nice little dual plug, dual outlet, and then the dual outlet for the big TV that's going to hang up, which I'm actually excited for. This is going to be good. So he's installed 1, 2, 3, 4 plugs so far. I can remove that tape. We're all good on plugs on this wall. It may not look totally centered, and that's because it's kind of not, because I have the couch over here. And so I know that I'm going to be placing a kegerator. The first kegerator is probably going to go pretty far over to the left, with the hope that I can fit all 3 kegerators. Maybe here on the back corner, maybe I can fit my record player. I haven't bought anything yet to put the record player on, so that's a work in progress. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to be doing a plug here, which is 5. Ignore both X's. I'm only doing 1 plug here for 5. In an ideal world, I'm researching it now. I'm going to have a fridge to put all this beer in. What I'm finding is that the only fridges on the market seem to be ones that offer dual zone. I'd like dual zone. It's not a necessity, but most of them only feature options to have the bottles lying down. And I know that's not necessarily ideal for beer because yeast can settle, it can cause oxidation, so on and so forth. So I'm currently researching that. If you have anything, let me know. I want something with windows, clear windows you can look through. Or a door, rather, clear door. So anyway, that's 4 plugs. The one in the corner is 5. I'm only doing 1 over here for 6. I think I'm only doing 1 over there for 6. And then I'm doing 1 on the bottom here for 7. I'm not fully sure why I'd be doing 1 over here at this stage, because once I get glycol, I'm probably going to put it in this corner. But buy once, cry once, and it's good to have plugs in the event that I need them. If I want to move these fermentation chambers over, give myself more space, whatever the case may be. Talk to some home buddies in home brewing that kind of gave me that feedback. So that's 7. I feel like I'm missing 1, because I think we were at 8 total at one point. But in any event, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. So so far, so good. I think he's coming back next week, and hopefully he'll have the job done. All right, so it's actually been a few weeks since I recorded my last video showing some of the process that I wanted as it related to the electric. The reason why it's been a few weeks is because my neighbor, he works a full-time job, busy guy. He has kids. Kids are basketball players. Totally understand it. He's not done, but he has made some progress worthy enough that on a Thursday, I'm popping open a beer because the progress he's made is really something that I've been looking forward to for years and years and years. It's finally done, and so I'm excited. But first, let's take a look at the beer I'm going to be drinking. Trillium Pilsner, easy drinking. Really, I should probably be drinking a homebrew, but I have 2 beers on tap, as you'll see, spoiler alert. And both of them I'm actually waiting to record videos on. Okay. Very nice. Very nice clear Pilsner. So, as I mentioned, today is the 25th of June. And so I'm actually going to be moving some things around and I'm going to be showing you some of the process. So speaking of the process on the electric, let's go take a look. Boom, here we go, far wall. I got a quad plug, a dual plug. Those are 2 brand new installs. In the corner where the TV stand was, here is the couch setup. And then that plug was already there. Now you may be wondering, where's the TV? Boom. Got the TV on a mount. Check it out. Nice little mount hanging up there. Really pumped about this. Have the TV going. The mount actually does come out a little bit. You can manipulate it. It does come out. It's a 360-degree mount, but what I'm finding is in order to turn it, I can't turn it this way, and that is because of the wall, just the way the wall is manipulated. So that's a little bit of a downside, but not that big of a deal. I can still see it when I'm cleaning, with the sink right there. And then a second TV, and oh, what's that? What's that? That's the tap list. I got a tap list now. Taplist.io, hooking it up, paid for the year, $39.99, and I have my beers sitting on tap. The label there for the Brew Tubers Experiment beer is outdated, and I need to create one for Auspicious Moments, which is the collab beer with me and Kurt. And I'm gonna mess around with the background from time to time. All that to say, we finally have a digital tap list here in the brewery. Really, really pumped about this. And so now I need to move the kegerator into this area. Hey Donovan. So, oopsie. So because I have that TV now, do you want this whiteboard?
Yeah!
You do?
Yeah!
All right, you can have the whiteboard. We'll put it up in your room and you can use it to draw.
Yeah! Thank you so much.
You're welcome. This kegerator certainly has its downsides. It doesn't cool all the way down. It's old as hell. It's struggled to fit 3 kegs, but it's on wheels, which makes it significantly easier to move. above it. Nice little tap list. Very cool. So the idea is, and honestly, I didn't realize how wide this thing was going to be. And I do think it's because of the CO2 tank that's sticking out. But I'm actually getting a second kegerator, so I'm going to be moving this either to the left or right more to help center it with a second kegerator. And in the corner, where Donovan is, I may put a record player. I don't know yet. I'm either going to put the record player there, or I'm going to put it over here in this corner with my beer cellar eventually. It'll take a little bit of getting used to, that's for sure. I have some cleanup to do here, but I will update with the process once we have the rest of the electrical outlets put in, and that should be right around early next week. The build out is complete, and here are the results. You've seen this area already. Got the two TVs. What actually ended up happening was my electrician moved the kegerator TV down to make it look more even with the main TV. What's great about having this TV too is during the football season I can play more than one game on each TV. I can do a quad box since I have YouTube TV. I can do a quad box on each TV and really kind of can stream all the games on that day's slate, which is nice. Here we went with a quad plug. And so my thinking with a quad plug is I'll be able to, this wall is long enough that I can fit probably a nice fridge, my record player, and then something else if I wanted to. So having the quad plug there will actually work out really well. And then here, if you look in the wall, there's a quad plug as well. And that quad plug is in the middle of this wall. And so what I've done is I've taken my kegs, I moved them over. This is my little fermentation space area. And so I got my plastic fermenters. I have this new, to me, Spike Brewing conical fermenter on wheels. This is the beginning of me purchasing for my glycol system. So I'm going to be piecing that out slowly but surely. I got a couple of buckets back there as well. But all that to say, I'm thinking this corner, as I've mentioned, is going to be probably my fermentation area with glycol. What I ended up doing was putting a plug here for easy access for this fridge fermenter instead of moving it over. And what my neighbor did for me was he also put a plug here. And so what that is going to do is give me more options for what I can put over here. If I end up wanting to go with something like my glycol system in this area, I can definitely do that. So I was going to go with one plug, and I was even thinking about not putting it in the corner and just moving everything over to the left, but I'm finding that I really need space. And so you can only have so much space. And so what I've done is I've taken my sparge setup here and I've moved it over. And this way, because it's on wheels, whenever I want to sparge, I can just move it over. And I can keep this area free to put up my equipment that I'm cleaning. So my malt pipe, my false bottom, things like that, either during or after the brew day, I can use this area just for cleaning and letting things dry. And so having this table in the corner here where I can plug in any one of these systems or both. I've tested it. I can plug in both systems. Having that area is actually a real benefit to me, having electric in that area. So really versatile with what I can do. So in total, we have one plug, two over there. Those are dual plugs. I got a quad here, which makes it 3. Another quad, 4, 2, 5, 6, and then 7 and 8. And so 8 plugs total is what we went with. The build out in terms of electric is complete. I'm going to put some framing around this door, framing around the windows, framing around the door, as I've mentioned, and framing around those 2 doors. I'd like to do something cool for this door. What I'd really like to do in this doorway here is put like a frosted glass door with my logo etched in it. And then decorations. You know, the walls are very bare, so I want to put some decorations that more reflect who I am as, you know, a 38-year-old man and not just a Patriots fan or a sports fan. So yeah, man, building things out. And it's not to say everything is everything's fluid. It's not static. I can move things. So I can move these fermenters over there if I want. I can move this sparge setup over here. I really can do a lot. So once I kind of get a better sense of where my glycol system eventually is going to go, once I get a better sense of how the new, when I order a fridge, when I get a fridge from my cellar, and when I get a stand and a setup for my record player, once I get an idea of how these things look, I'll have a better sense of where I want to put things and really do a better job of finalizing the area. But this is a stark improvement. Things are definitely coming along slowly but surely. Thanks so much for watching. This is far from complete, but we're definitely getting closer. Thanks again for watching. L'chaim.